I would like to ask you a big round of applause for Maarten Vissers from 1924.
Thank you.
Here you go.
Thank you. You guys hear me okay? Yeah? You good? Thanks for coming out on this steamy night in Amsterdam. You guys are brave souls. My name is Maarten Vissers, and Pascal has asked me to share a bit about experiences on social and digital media. To be really frank with you and quite honest, I'm a bit done with social media. Aren't you? Yes. Yeah? A bit? There was an ancient philosopher who said that the more we self-broadcast, the emptier we become. And the emptier we become, the more we feel the need to self-broadcast. And I think this holds true for the current times that we're in. And sometimes I really wonder whether the effect socially and psychologically on us as a society has been a good one so far. Having said that, I'm really passionate about the way global brands integrate influencer marketing into their overall marketing mix. So that's what I'd like to talk to you about. Some good and bad examples of how global brands that I've been fortunate to work with have integrated influencer marketing 20, 30 years back into their overall marketing mix, and what it's done for their business, how it's been able to ignite their business. So that's what you should expect for the next 30 minutes. Not technical details on the next Instagram features, but some pragmatic, strategic business decisions of global brands of how to integrate early days influencer marketing into their strategy. Good with you? Yeah? Cool. Before I start, I'd like to tell you a brief story, which plays end of the 80s. And it features an Austrian gentleman who was a sales manager for the Procter & Gamble brand Blendex toothpaste. He was responsible for the Asian market, and he flew back and forth quite a lot. And on one of these trips out to Japan, his plane was delayed, he was extremely tired, and he had to rush into a taxi straight to a full day of meetings. So into the taxi cab, he was talking to the taxi driver who spoke a bit of English. And he explained how tired he was, and the taxi driver just handed him a small brown bottle with liquid in it. So the taxi driver said, "Try this, see how you feel." So he drank the bottle, and he felt completely energized, fresh. His meetings went well, energized, and he was really excited what this was. So straight after the meetings, he found out the family who owns the recipe of this company. And he made a deal with them. He said, "You as a family are going to be 50% owner of my company, and I'm going to market this product worldwide." And this was the start of a company. After my 8 years working for the Austrian gentleman, I was invited in Amsterdam for a coffee with the shareholders of a company called 9024. And 9024 was founded by two professional football players and their management teams. And these two football players, early on, 6-7 years ago, understood that their next boot deal with Nike or Adidas, their next transfer deal, or their next commercial engagement was highly dependent on their digital image and on the following that they would bring in this deal. So they thought of, we need to professionalize the way that we speak to the fans directly. So we need to professionalize our social media. And that was how 9024 was found. It features the personal 24 hours of life around the 90 minutes. So the personal 24 hours, the lifestyle of a football player around the 90 minutes on the pitch. It has nothing to do with football on the pitch. It has everything to do with the lifestyle around it. To give you a brief introduction, let me show you what they do. So 9024 Media is a disruptive media company which connects audiences and brands. That's all they do. And they do that through influencers, football players, with huge audiences. So combined, the 60 professional football players that are now part of 9024 Media have an audience of over 260 million fans worldwide. So obviously quite a powerful start of a conversation with a brand like Netflix or Wish.com or Eurosport. Brands that are looking to engage with a specific audience, young, male, millennial, are obviously very interested to become part of this movement, 9024. So 6 years ago, these guys kind of started, they were up and running, and they asked me, hey, we think we have a really powerful starting position to talk with brands, but could you help us to kind of build, a revenue model, kind of a commercial strategy around what we have here? So that's what I started. I said, let me give it a try for 6 months, we'll see how it goes, and end up working there for 3 years. And what I'd like to do is show you a couple of examples of how I think brands have done a really good job in leveraging these guys and leveraging their audiences as part of their overall marketing mix. So start with Netflix, obviously a company that we're all very familiar with. A couple of years ago, Netflix had a challenge to draw in a certain subset of audiences. They saw through their analysis that they were doing really well on families, and they were doing really well on early professionals, but kind of the students below that, and specifically a male audience, they were challenging, they were struggling to draw them in and bring them to tune in, try trailers, try features, and tune into Netflix. So they came to 9024 and they said, hey, we think that with the help of your football players, we should be able to reach that subset of audience that we need to and convert them successfully. So we started a program that at the start of a relevant series, like Narcos, we would engage a subset of football players in different geographies and ask the players, hey, watch this trailer, watch this first couple of episodes. Do you like it? And if so, how would you watch it? Can you show us, how do you enjoy Netflix? So you have these guys who send us pictures back, hanging in the bathtub, bubbles on, Netflix on. Yeah. You have guys who are, on a plane and they're watching together, kind of side by side, kind of nice. You have guys like Lasse Schöne who said, hey, my kids are asleep. Quite a boring message to state. Now it's time for relaxation. But it was all true. It was all authentic. So we asked these guys without telling them, this is going to be a campaign or this is going to be a feature. You like Netflix? Cool. Here is a passcode. Try it for a bit, see what you like. And then take some pictures or ask your wife or your girlfriend to take some pictures how you enjoy Netflix. So this drew a huge conversion of this subset of audience to the Netflix destination. And they saw an intense spike in the specific subset, in trials, and in the end, in sign-ups, in subscriptions. And these football players never got paid a cent to do this. So for me, this is a nice example of how, the right brand, the right topic, and the right influencer kind of come together. And without them really being, you get paid this, we need you to do this. And we kind of drew them into, hey, this is what we'd like to achieve. How do you feel about, posting something like that? So to me, and also obviously the audience, knows that. The audience knows whether it's kind of a forced or a pushed thing versus, is it real? Is this guy really enjoying his Netflix show? And through that, Netflix continued with new series that are relevant to kind of use these football players as a way to communicate what's going on. The second case I'd like to show you is a company called Wish.com. How many of you have heard of Wish.com? Yeah, a few? Cool. If we would ask this pre-World Cup 2018, and for the non-football players, pre-summer 2018, it would have probably been a little less. Because the challenge that Wish.com had, Wish.com is a huge company like Amazon. They sell billions of revenue of products directly from the Chinese factory to the consumer. So there's nothing in between. The production is on for Wilson tennis rackets during the day, and at night the production is on for Wish.com tennis rackets without a logo on it. And it's hugely successful. But the issue they had is within Europe, nobody knew who they were or what they're doing. When you ask Wish, a lot of people thought, yeah, it's a foundation. It's for kids. What they're doing. So these guys came to us and asked, hey, World Cup, we're 6 weeks before the World Cup, and we really want to leverage the fact that everybody's going to be tuned in, to create brand awareness. That's what we want to do. So what we did is we worked with 8 legends, global legends of football, who were not participating at the World Cup, with a hashtag, time on your hands. So you're not playing this summer, what are you doing? And then obviously the idea was, I'm ordering products from Wish.com to do something cool, to do something funny. I'll show you a little clip. So for the non-football fans, Robin van Persie, Dutch icon, he scored an iconic goal where he was kind of like flying through the air like this in the World Cup previously in 2014. And obviously he has time on his hands and he orders stuff at Wish.com to impress, his other friends. Gareth Bale in this side, another football player. And the campaign goes from TV, back to social, back to print, back to bus stations. So it was completely integrated through the line. But in the end, the audience was always drawn into the next video and the next what's happening, which icon is coming next week. And the interesting thing here is that what you see here is kind of the media impact, the results this campaign had within a week. And although Wish.com had spent probably 4 or 5 million euros on TV ads alone, the social impact, the media impact that this campaign had was about 8 times as big on social as it was on TV. So kind of an eye-opener to say, hey, if you do this well, and you use kind of, again, the right audience, the story is right, with a single objective, awareness in specific areas, it shows you the power of influencer media. And the last part I'd like to show you is a company called Eurosport. Everybody knows them. I associated them with the 8th rerun of snooker, which nobody really cares about. And this company kind of came to us and asked, we want to do two things. We want to draw a tune-in to the Serie A football rights that we bought. We paid a lot of money for it, and we want to drive, tune into it. And second, we want to reposition ourselves as a company that kind of understands modern-day media. So instead of the boring kind of multi-country sports platform with very little relevance to Dutch audience, they wanted to turn around with the central idea: we want to connect fans and athletes. So at that time, it was 2016, Dutch player Kevin Strootman, kind of good guy at that time, kind of famous guy. He moved to the Serie A, big contract with AS Roma. And what we kind of scoped out the idea, based on Eurosport's objectives, we want to create a campaign where you follow a season of the Serie A through the eyes of Kevin Strootman. So you're not only watching it 90 minutes on the TV, but you're really drawn into, hey, I moved there with my wife and my little baby. How's life here? How's it been for us in Italy? You come into his home and you sit at the breakfast table and have breakfast with him. How does he prepare for a match day? What does he do on the day? How does he get through the day? Nerves, etc. Go into the club with him, speak with teammates, constantly a camera kind of on his breast during practice. And then in the end, engagement. So to have two Dutch fans given the chance to come out to Italy and kind of experience a day with him. So all to bring athletes and their fans, close together. And this was integrated into all forms of social media. It was a 5-part documentary on TV, a social posts, short snippets, constant updates about his life. And it was kind of a game changer for Eurosport. They achieved that. They did kind of a study, pre and a 0 and a 1 study, to understand how does a younger audience view us as a media company, and how connected do you feel to the brand, and do you feel to the properties that we show, in this instance Serie A. And it showed kind of a good increase on how fans viewed this platform. 12 million people saw the campaign in the Netherlands alone. And increased the awareness and the perception about the brand Eurosport. This guy was happy because he was able to show his fans back home in the Netherlands. He's kind of a guy who doesn't move away from the Netherlands so easily. He's able to kind of connect with them and show them how he's living and how he's doing. So again, a way for the influencer, to work well. He's comfortable and happy with it. A way for the brand, to achieve the results that they were looking for, and a way for 9024 to make revenue. A few closing thoughts, which you may or may not agree with. Influencer marketing is nothing new. Like I said, the kid on the block with the cool sneakers is an influencer, and has always been an influencer. And it's here to stay. This is true. And the difference now is that influencers have been able to, give a platform in which this industry is blown up. But the essence of it is still there. That you want to copy, you want to consume, you want to be like the person that you look up to. It can ignite your business. There's amazing cases on how influencer marketing has ignited certain businesses, like Baller, for instance. I don't know if you know this brand. Part of an integrated marketing mix, but influencer was a key component for them, to make their company grow. It needs to be a well thought through part of the overall marketing mix. It's not, I'm going to turn on, the ads and, the orders is going to come in. It needs to be a well thought through of a overall story, in my opinion. And it works when it shows extraordinary people doing ordinary things. Example, World Cup, Sweden is playing England. Two guys make a bet. A guy from Sweden and a guy from England make a bet. I think my team's going to win. No, I think my team's going to win. Very ordinary thing to do. We would all do it. However, the people that were making the bet, it's Zlatan Ibrahimovic and David Beckham. Two extraordinary people who have been very accomplished in their field, doing an ordinary thing. And when it really works, is when people understood that, Zlatan said, when I win, I'm going to take you to IKEA for breakfast. Very Swedish company, very proud. But when people started to understand, okay, so this is what's behind it. It was the most talked about post over the World Cup. Extraordinary people doing ordinary things. If the brand is able to ignite that in the right way, in an authentic way, it's a winner. However, it can also go wrong. I'm not sure if you've seen this. Some football fans may have, some others may not. This is Daley Blind, a player at Ajax right now, used to be a player at Manchester United. Has a deal with Adidas and 5-6 million followers. Hugely successful. However, the post that was most talked about Daley Blind was this one. And you may see why. So there was his account manager from Adidas sending him a message via WhatsApp. Hey mate, would you mind posting this image on your social channels and include this copy? And then he sent him this image, and Daley Blind was probably very busy or not. Posted the copy, copied the text, posted a copy, and off it went. Blew up all over the internet. Obviously a terrible example, both for the influencer and for the brand, how shallow and how transparent this whole thing can be. That was a bit of what I started with, is that great medium, if it's part of an overall story and it's authentic and it's true. Terrible medium if you think it's just going to do magic for you if you push a few buttons. Thanks for listening.